if it gets really cold, these products could perform very weird when it's real cold. If you use really hot water, you can accelerate everything, whether you're patching or whether you're self-leveling. So temperatures of water, temperatures of material can make a big difference.
So you want to acclimate them typically?
You want to use cold water, right? Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing a job, you're set up outside and it's 98 degrees, and you fill a big barrel of water, because the normal process is, I'm not filling up one little container with water. I'm going to have a big bulk garbage can filled with water, and then I take this thing with the window cut out. What you do with the window, that's the way to do it. So there's a window cut out here. You fill up the amount of water you need per bag or per 2 bags. You dip it in your big container, and then you dump it in your barrel that you're going to use. Normally, we're doing in this barrel, we do 2 bags at a time.
Is there a limit to how cold the water?
No. No. A lot of times, if it's really hot out, you introduce ice.
I mean, like a lot of times, like right now, there is no water on the job site, so we actually have to take water, which we fill water up as groundwater out of here, which is ice cold.
That's fine.
And
Today there's no water on site?
And that's something for your proposal also. You want to have in your proposal, it's excluding, you have minor floor prep, you're excluding any moisture vapor. You always want to have in there that, dumpster, a lift or hoisting is going to be by others. I always had in there that I needed adequate water and power. Like, I don't want to be carrying water from here to a job site. To me, that would be like, forget that. If you have to do it, you have to do it.
All. I mean, we do
That's
that a lot.
amazing.
We just did that to the last job. We had the 150.
No more pricing. No more extra labor, because they just added hoisting and lifting and hoisting by others.
No, second floor. If you're on the second floor, you have to consider the time that takes.
Glenn said no
You
more pricing.
And we'll worry about.
Just keep
Don't
talking.
worry, we got your hoist charge, man. We'll put that hoist charge
Coming
on
from a man who's getting paid for doing nothing.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh my goodness.
What I used to do is I used to set these bags up like that and then cut the tops off. I don't do that anymore. I slice them down the middle. Somebody showed me this and I loved it. So I open this up like an egg and then just dump it in there, and it's going to reduce the amount of dust that's coming up there. Normally, this is a 2-man process. You don't want to have one guy get the water, dump the powder, and
Here's
then
your
go get
second
the drill.
man.
You want me to help you out?
You want to dump or you want to drill?
I'll do.
Okay. So
So what if you don't have 2 men? What do you do then?
I would have just dumped it in there. You want power?
Power?
No.
Plug it in.
That's excellent.
That's
So
a
this-
hoist charge.
What we just did here is like having one
1
guy.
man, yeah.
So it's maybe not as easy on the drill. Not a big deal, but when you're doing 2 bags, there's no dust in here.
Yeah, clean charge.
Smoky little bag.
Clean charge. Lifting, hoisting, cleaning.
There's the cleanup charge at the end. When you're drilling or something, you don't want to just have. I had a job one time where a guy sat on a chair and just held the drill. You got to make sure you're going around. You're getting down in there to make sure.
Like you're making crazy, man. Gotta get all the flour on the bottom of the pile. The food makes it easier for me.
On the bags, they used to say it takes like 2 to 3 minutes to mix it. There's no magical amount of time that's needed. All you need to do is mix it so there's no lumps. If I mix this in 60 seconds and there's no lumps, all I need is 60 seconds. If I have lumps, mix it a little bit longer. Depends on the drill.
Take the bag.
Yeah. Depending on the size of your job, you're probably sending out 3 or 4 or 5 man crews. It's a real small job, maybe 2 guys, but usually a process is I have a guy on a drill, I have another guy dumping bags. The guy that's dumping bags could take the product out to whoever's putting it on the floor.
All right, Cipriani, get that. We'll take you to Mike.
Show them how it's done.
All right. So, do we have a broom? Do we have one that's threaded, maybe?
Broom handle.
I got one in my van.
It's a warehouse, man. No birds in here.
Don't worry about it. Do we have a hose outside that I could hose this shit off with? Is there work?
Yeah, we got water, yeah.
No, like this way.
No, no,
Yeah, I got one in my truck. One in my van.
so,
That's why we have cleats and spikes so we can walk.
See how ruddy that is?
Right, and so that's why you were saying that sometimes you add more water, and that's what was surprising.
Sometimes, we have done that, yes.
Okay.
Just a
but
little.
we won't anymore.
I mean, usually I think the 150 has
I mean,
a
doesn't
higher
it have
water
a-
than the 170.
In between two anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely, there's a range, and I'll show you something you want. There's something you want to look for when it's over water. I know.
No, yeah, no, I think the 150 has a little bit more, like more versus the 170, and that's what we do.
Is that your? Is that
This
your
is what
choice,
we're looking
or
at when
is
it's
that
over
something
water.
that we would put into the thing when I'm doing
That's
the
too much,
job?
but the point I'm trying to make, do you see the color? When you have a product that's over water, somebody calls me and say, hey, there's a problem, and I come in, and I see that color, it's very rare that somebody makes it that wet.
Right.
But even with a lesser amount of water, you're still gonna see that color.
Would that even harden?
It will, surprisingly. So, a normal job, we just poured the stuff on the floor. It was shot blast, we wanna make it smooth. We're gonna use this tool. We're standing up, of course. I don't want to start like this. I have more material than I want. I come in here, I'm perfect. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And I have more material than I want. You have to walk in the material so that you can always keep this parallel to the ground. So we're just dragging that material.
See the shadow? See?
Huh? Yeah, I understand the whole reflection thing.
Yeah, and I'm just
It work?
That's gonna work. It'll be good. I'm going through this course. The other mistake that people make sometimes, you take that whole bucket and you dump it out right here in one big blob. And now I want to take all my time and I want to manipulate this thing. I don't want to do that. I want to take this bucket or that bucket. I want to start in the corner I'm going to work, and I want to fan the material out. I want to work in bands that are about 2 to 3 foot wide, and I want to do ribbons. I want to do that whole section, this whole section, this whole section. If you start doing a big blob here, and then you start bringing it down here, and then it's thin there, you can have all different kind of wet edges you don't want. So we're always trying to work in bands. So that's how I have my thickness. See those lines like that? It's called a watermark. When it dries, you won't feel it. You'll just see it. So that was always the normal process. If I'm a ceramic guy, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. If I'm a floor guy, see all those marks and see all those air bubbles. I don't like those. So if I'm through, I'm not doing this. See all the material moving? I want to see a little flow off of either tip. And that's
So
it.
you don't have to cool that up.
Right. Now, things you can do with this to make it, you can adjust your angle. Like let's say if I'm running, I'm skipping like that. See, I'm not really touching the whole width of the blade. It's not the end of the world. But if I'm going like this and I skip a couple marks, I don't ever want to fix that mistake, let's call it, by doing this, putting it right in the middle of the material. If I ever do something that I don't like, if I'm doing one of these and I skip it, I don't go in here to fix it. I always start at the edge of a wall. Always there, and then you pull it out. If you ever see stuff like this, you'll always see me reaching down. Well, that's plastic. It's torn there. You see stuff in the floor, just get it out. If you don't get it out now, you have to scrape or sand it later. And you come through. So if I have a pass here with my blade, that was my line that I smoothed. I'm done. I don't have to do anything else with that. Then I'm doing just a little bit over that one, and I'm done. So now if you look, the reflection is
Getting better.
pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lights and they're a little squiggly.
Now, if you look at it now.
Yeah, we're real squeaky. Actually, the one looks like it's got a little belly on it.
Now, will that heal itself over? Absolutely, it will. But we don't want to do that. You know what? Now, the other thing is, a lot of the other products that have been used in the past, we don't have a whole lot of work time. If I was doing demos 10 years ago, I'd be putting this down, finishing it, and go, whew, I got through that one, everything looks good. You got to work fast. I'd say you have a good 40 minutes at least with this stuff.
More than enough time.
Way more than enough time. So that reduces the amount of cold joints that you have to come back and touch up. This is doing so much work for you. If I just let this sit here and we talk for another half an hour, I can come back here and do one of those. It just heals over. You know, when the material's that fluid and you're walking through it, that's why when we were talking about, you know, the 1/8 inch pores could be maybe tough. Not only are you not fixing all those rolls, if I'm then walking through anything, and I'm asking that material to heal over,
Yeah, it
you're
doesn't have
asking
enough
to,
strength to really push itself back together.
well, there's just not enough material there. There's not enough to heal over. The other thing that I try to get picky about, it's really easy in a corner or the edge of the wall or around the door jamb when you're doing this stuff to just say, yeah, that's close enough. I'm in a hurry and I want to just keep going. I want to keep going. And then I don't touch that stuff. If you don't fix that and that while you're doing this, somebody else has to come back and fix that and that. So I want to make sure I cover every square inch of that floor. So I have a wall, I'm going right up to everything.
Do you wait at all before you go back with your smoother to go over top of it?
No, what I want to do is I want to dump this stuff right out on the floor, get it down. I want to get to my height, whether I'm using a pin or this tool to gauge it or that tool. Once I have the material down that I want to put this through this.
So you
Just
want
be
to walk
done.
on
That's right. And you know, sometimes some guys only work one way. Like some guy will finish from here and go over, then walk all the way back, and then finish this way. For me, it's no problem to start here, go to my wall, and then come back like this. It's not an issue. One thing that you do run into is I don't have a wall here that's being in my way. So let's say there's a wall right here. I can't go anymore. My stick's in the way. I can't finish my pass. So I just have to come here, always starting on the wall, and just do a sweep. And then I can come back, and then I'm working that way. So some of the harder things are when you're done, you're working your way out of the room. I have a doorway here. How do I finish this? Sometimes it just can't be perfect. You're going to have this product. It's going to be dripping off the smoother, and it's going to be right here where you walked over it, or you know, right here when you're walking out. It's not a big deal. It's just one small spot when you're walking out. All right, that was the normal one. That is a 3/16 of material left on the floor. This product, turns out we have high moisture in the doctor's office. We are not trying to fix the floor other than stopping high moisture vapor. I'm going to put down an epoxy that's adding basically 0 height. I'm going to put down a primer that's adding basically 0 height. And now I just need 1/8 of an inch of this stuff. That's what this does. The reason that I would use this for 1/8 of an inch pour over this, do you see this ridge right here created by that floor? If I use this tool and I set this at 1/8, I have 1/8 here, and I have 1/8 here, and almost 0 there. So there's a real good chance that that's going to look really funky and not too good. If I use this tool, I'm going to have 1/8 here. I might even have a little more here or more there, but I know I have a minimum of 1/8 wherever I need it. So this tool, breaking it out. And then I have 1/8 of an inch material there. And then they say, take this silly thing, and that's supposed